Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Grand Cruise Astrology. My name is Clayton, and today I'm going to talk about Venus in Gemini going square to Neptune in Pisces. So, this aspect first, Venus is in its transit through the zodiac has been slowing down quite a bit because it's getting to go retrograde in the sky. And so retrograde is when a planet appears from a geocentric perspective to move backwards uh, in relation to the zodiac in the sky. So um, it's been slowing down. Before it slows down before it actually stops, stations, and then starts to go in reverse. So um, it's been kind of moving along very slowly, kind of plodding along, and it's coming to a square to Neptune. And when it gets to Neptune, it's going to sit there and then move in reverse. And this aspect of Mercury retrograde Neptune in Pisces is very symbolic of a lot of what we're going through right now and is very representative of the challenges ahead. And I'm going to make another video about the retrograde, but first I just want to talk about the square to Neptune um, and what it brings both on a personal level and on a collective. So, from a collective perspective, this aspect is about us learning how to integrate two energies that have the same goal, the same want to get to the same place, but have two completely different ways of going about it. They're both mutable signs when we're talking about Gemini and we're talking about Pisces, but they're very different in their expression. So Venus is a planet. It's in Gemini. Venus is all about connecting. It's all about one-to-one connections and personal growth through connecting to other on a one-to-one level. Okay, and so when Venus is in Gemini, Venus because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and it's the sign that expresses mercurial energy at its peak. Mercury Venus in Gemini wants to connect with everything. It wants to talk to everybody. It wants to connect with everybody. It wants to socialize. It wants to gather around a lot of people. It wants to party. Its connections are all very superficial. Not in a negative way, but it's just because Mercury, as an expression, moves very fast. It's a very fast expression of Venusian energy. It doesn't have the depth of another sign, like maybe Venus in Taurus or Venus in Scorpio or something like this is dispersing the energy far and wide, wanting to connect with everything, curious about everyone and everything. So that is Venus in Gemini, which we have right now, slowing down and getting ready to go retrograde. But it won't go retrograde until mid-May. Right now, it's just moving very slowly. So the Venusian energy, as it slows down, it gets more focused on particular degrees in the sky, and we start to feel the energy more. When a planet goes retrograde, its proximity to the Earth is closer, so we feel its energy. It's more pronounced. So that energy to want to connect, to want to relate, it's on high right now, and for obvious reasons, because a lot of us may be feeling like we've been lacking that. So there's the energy is there pushing us to want to reach out and connect in whatever way possible. Venus in Gemini, Gemini is an air sign, so connecting through internet, electronically, that's a lot of us have been doing that. That's a very much an expression of Venus in Gemini. So that energy is on high. It's been in place for a couple of weeks, and now it's going to be until until the latter part of July. It'll be in the sign of Gemini, I believe. So it's there. It's with us. We're learning how to function, relating to one another with Venus in Gemini through social distancing, through electronics, through the wires, and yet learning how we can connect to a whole spectrum of people as well. So this is a process, and we're just at the beginning stages of learning how to do that. because when a planet goes retrograde, it goes retrograde in three stages. You have the first stage where the planet starts to slow down, um, and it and then you have when it does slow down and station and go backward. That's the second part of it, and the third part is when it tracks back over and goes forward again. So we're in the very first stage of the retrograde. We're getting introduced to what we're going to be working with, and we're in that process. So that's Venus in Gemini. Then we have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune in Pisces. So Pisces, again, like Gemini, is a mutable sign, uh, whereas Gemini wants to connect with everything, and kind of skip over the top and message and and bring this part over here to that part over there and make these interconnections and network everything on the whole. Pisces wants to dissolve into the whole. It wants to know itself as oneness, express itself as melding into the one, into the egoless, greater sum of all the parts. It is only understood in that way. And so Neptune as an energy, Neptune is about dissolution. Neptune is very akin to Pisces energy. Neptune dissolves boundaries. It is like water. It's the god of the sea. It's Poseidon. It wants to melt, dissolve all boundary of ego into egolessness. And so here we have two energies with kind of the same goal of connecting to that wholeness, but in two completely different ways. So, how do we integrate that, right? How do we integrate two energies that are so different in how they go about doing it? Well, so when you have Mercury, when you have Venus in Gemini, wanting to connect all the dots, and Neptune wanting to meld into everything, it's important to now is an important time to recognize, first of all, as that Venusian Gemini energy, what are we connecting the dots for? Because Neptune in Pisces is very much about compassion and having a heart for the whole, the downtrodden, the sick, the people that are less fortunate. The Pisces energy is very much involved with that. So Neptune there wants to help heal that space and bring compassion and kindness and universal unconditional love into that space. So Gemini effectively squaring Neptune and Pisces, squares create outcomes in the physical environment, consequence. So it's a tension that we can use. How do we use it? Well, this can be, I would imagine this would be a time when many kinds of nonprofits that are involved in helping out people that are less fortunate, in any kind of way, in any kind of dynamic, any kind of outreach that is done on a possibly through the internet on a tech level with Venus and Gemini, reaching out to others through Zoom, through Facebook, through YouTube, whatever, for a greater cause than self, which is that Neptune and Pisces energy. That is how we can kind of combine these two, because there's going to be, if you're trying to do Neptune and Pisces, have a Neptune and Pisces agenda and a goal of helping the larger populace, the larger collective, in a universal, loving, compassionate kind of way, you're still going to need to make day-to-day interactions with individual people on a very touch and go, superficial level. You're still going to need to relate to people. So this is one way that we can do that. There is this energy, this square is going to provide the tension and the grit for manifestation, if you will. It's the formula for physical 3D manifestation is a square. So we have that working for us. If you're feeling called to connect people in a cause that's greater than self, Now is the time to do it, and the energies are working with you. With Venus going retrograde, there could be a lot of stop starts. There could be a lot of figuring out how this is going to work. Um, this is new territory for all of us in a lot of different ways. So there could be a lot of trying things out, seeing what works, what doesn't. It's a learning process, and there can be tension and conflict within this, just trying to figure out how to integrate these two energies. That's part of the game. However, squares have consequence, and they are the kind of energy, they create the kind of tension within society, within the collective, that can bring about change. So you can use this energy. On a more personal level, this can go one of two ways. This can be an energy that, if, for example, if it's external, projected onto a partner, this could see one partner um, in a dynamic who is all in, all in, and just completely enveloped in the emotion and the feeling and the subtlety behind the connection. And another partner, and that would be expressing that Neptune and Pisces, sort of selfless, wanting to dissolve into other. Um, and whereas the other could be in a situation where they are, yeah, okay, I want to do that too, and feeling that, and then, about 5-10 seconds later, looking at the watch, like, okay, that's great. Now what? Now we got this to do, and let's do this, and we got to go over here and do that. This is all good and fine, but we only have so much time. It can be, it can just, there can be some tension there. It could be one person expressing that fully and enveloped in emotion, and the other person more on the surface. And so it's just about, if you find yourself in a dynamic where you're expressing one of those two energies, just understanding where you're at, where the other is at, and getting creative about how to connect those energies and create something positive from it. Because just like squares in the collective energy, squares in one-to-one relationships, they create a template to create change, to create positive outcome and consequence. So use that energy if you can, if you become aware of it and you recognize it. On an internal level, this could just be dealing with two parts of yourself. A part of yourself that is selfless, unconditional, and yet another part of yourself that wants to just hang out with your friends and socialize, and get clicky over here, and then go get clicky over here and connect with these people here and do this and that. It's about wanting to have superficial connections, not maybe not always wanting to have that deep, all embracing all the time, all is one connection. It could be a back and forth kind of energy. And so just understanding better how you can integrate the two. I think putting yourself in a position where you are working on or with a cause of some kind that is bigger than yourself is a great way to integrate these, because you can still have those one-to-one superficial connections, whether it's on a blog or whether it's just on email or over the phone or talking to people or whatever, but yet still have your vision set on something bigger than yourself, something that has to do more in line with Neptune and Pisces, which is unconditional love and care for all, and understanding that we are all one and we are all integrated, and how to bring that integration into form. So that's pretty much it. That's it. This is an energy that's going to be around for a while, but I thought I'd go ahead and make a video to hit it off. I'm going to do another video when Venus goes retrograde. I'll touch a little bit more on that, what's going on with that collectively. But this is very much a part of the curriculum for all of us right now collectively, and it's right on time. And so we're going to get creative on how we work with this and how we use it. But the opportunity is there. The opportunity is there for us to create real lasting changes for us in our collective, but also in our personal lives as well, on a relationship front, how we relate. So use this energy, have fun with it, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.